I was 7 months pregnant when I discovered my husband was being unfaithful. The reason? While doing his laundry, I found a condom in his pocket. Given my advanced stage of pregnancy, it was impossible for us to be intimate.
John, why did you have this in your pocket? These pants were the ones you brought home last week for washing. They had fallen behind the sofa, and you forgot to take them back.
John Thompson and I had been married for 2 years, and we never used that brand of condoms. Tears blurred my vision. I was heartbroken and wanted to cry, but I had to consider the baby in my belly. Losing control of my emotions could affect the baby.
I need to confirm my suspicions. I'll call Eric Johnson and ask him to look into who John has been spending time with recently.
Eric was his boss, so it was easy for him to investigate.
Baby, I need to work on some designs tonight, so I can't be with you. I'm sorry, baby.
I looked down and gently touched my swollen belly, feeling a mix of emotions. If John was truly unfaithful, what would happen to me and the baby? Before I could think further, Eric called back.
Lily, how have you been? I heard from the professor that you're on maternity leave.
Yes, Eric, just tell me what you found. You know I can't tolerate any deceit.
I had someone check. John has been spending a lot of time with the daughter of the project investor recently. But this doesn't necessarily mean anything. Don't overthink it.
I sneered inwardly. Knowing John as well as I did, he wouldn't get close to a woman unless he was interested in her.
Eric, can you send me that girl's WeChat? I just want to see her moments.
Do you want to talk to her?
Of course not. I just want to see her posts.
All right, Lily, but don't get too upset. You still have the baby to think about.
Don't worry, Eric.
After hanging up, Eric sent me the girl's WeChat. Her profile picture was a Disney rabbit, Stella Lou. I suddenly remembered that John had brought home a Stella Lou last month. Thinking about it now, and seeing the rabbit on my bedside table, I felt nauseated and threw it on the floor. In hindsight, I should have noticed the signs earlier. When I first found out I was pregnant, John was happy, but because of my severe morning sickness, we couldn't be intimate for the first 3 months as per the doctor's advice. In the past 7 months, we had only been intimate twice. No wonder John had been saying he couldn't leave the project and needed to earn more money, so he wasn't coming home. I had sympathized with his hard work and was even pleased, thinking John was taking on the responsibility of being a father. I glanced at the girl's WeChat. She must have been quite open, as her moments were not restricted, and I could see them without adding her as a friend. Scrolling down a page, most of her posts were about food and gifts she received. I clicked on one post that read,
I've never met someone who even remembers my cycle.
I clicked on the attached image, which was a screenshot of a WeChat conversation. One person was her, and the other was John Thompson. His profile picture was always a photo of his back, taken by me when we went to Lijiang, standing by Lugu Lake.
Ha!
Their conversation was like that of a couple deeply in love.
During these days, be careful. Don't eat cold or spicy food. Be good.
Thank you, darling. Love you.
I love you too, darling.
As I read, my vision blurred, and tears uncontrollably streamed down my face. My childhood sweetheart, my husband, had betrayed me. I continued scrolling and found out they met just after I got pregnant and became a couple within a week.
I laughed. John Thompson said he liked me and had observed me for years before we became a couple in college. Under his influence, I believed he had grown to love me over time.
I covered my mouth, trying hard to hold back my tears. I saw their first time in a hotel, and the nth time.
No wonder he didn't want to come home. With my growing belly, he couldn't fulfill his needs. Should I be glad he didn't just find a random fling, or sad that he quickly fell for another girl?
Suddenly, I felt foolish, realizing I might not know him at all. He never told me what kind of girl he liked, always vaguely saying he was with me because I treated him well. At first, I was angry. Did I have no qualities he liked?
He only said he liked my gentleness, independence, and that I never made him worry to appease me.
So, all these years, he never remembered my cycle. It wasn't that he couldn't remember, he just didn't want to. 7 years of feelings felt like a joke, like a slap in the face. At midnight, I drove to my friend Sarah Miller's house with my big belly.
Lily, what's wrong?
John Thompson cheated.
That jerk. How dare he cheat? Since you got pregnant, how many days has he been home? You can count them on your fingers. Where is he? Where's that little tramp? I'll beat them up.
I held her back, feeling deeply moved.
Sarah, I want a divorce.
Sarah was stunned, looking at me in shock for a while before nodding.
Divorce is the right choice, but what about the baby?
I lowered my head, gently touching my belly, and softly said, I'll raise the baby. I just don't know how to tell my parents.
As I spoke, I choked up again. My heart felt like it was being cut with a knife, even breathing was painful. My mind was a mess, constantly recalling the bits and pieces of my years with John Thompson.
Have you made up your mind? Are you going to confront him, or?
I want him to leave with nothing.
I support you. I've never liked him. You always accommodated him. How can a grown man be so fussy?
Tears streamed down my face, but I didn't dare cry out loud. The baby in my belly was still listening. Because of my fluctuating emotions, the baby kept moving inside me. Sarah wiped my tears, patted my face, and comforted me.
Silly girl, don't cry. There will be someone better. Look at you, fair-skinned and beautiful, not lacking money. What kind of man can't you find? John Thompson is just a rotten egg. We won't hold on to him.
I nodded vigorously, too sad to speak. If a husband is unfaithful during pregnancy and there's concrete evidence, the chances of him leaving with nothing are quite high. I quickly calmed down and looked at my belly. Today, my emotions had been all over the place, and the baby had been moving a lot, as if sensing my distress. The world is vast, but nothing is more important than the child.
I must protect myself and my child. As for gathering evidence of John's infidelity, I plan to do it gradually. A fox will always show its tail.
With Sarah Miller's comforting, I managed to get some sleep. I felt a bit better in the morning. I forced myself to drink some porridge, my mind racing with thoughts. With my big belly, it was inconvenient to gather evidence, so I thought of hiring a private investigator.
Are you sure you don't want me to come with you?
No, being alone will help me stay calm.
Back home, I went about my usual routine, listening to early education lessons and practicing yoga. John called via video around 9 in the evening. He looked the same as always, still calling me baby affectionately.
I have a screening test at the hospital this Friday. The doctor said it's best to have someone with me.
Husband, can you come back and accompany me this time?
Baby, I'm sorry. I really want to be there with you, but the quality inspection team is coming this Friday, and I have to be present.
All right then.
How about having Mom accompany you?
Which mom?
Whichever mom you prefer.
We'll see.
Baby, by the time you give birth, the first phase of this project will be over. I'll take care of you during your confinement, okay?
In the video, John was still in his usual single room at the construction site. The curtains behind him caught my attention. They used to be dark black but were now a soft pink with shimmering silver patterns. John had always been particular about his sleep quality. He had developed a nervous condition from staying up all night drawing during school, making him a light sleeper. His bedroom had to be completely dark, with no light at all. For years, whether at home or in his single room, the curtains had to be black. He even requested hotel staff to change the curtains to black when traveling.
There had to be a special reason, something that eased his mind and improved his sleep quality.
Baby, what are you thinking about?
I'm just a bit tired today. I want to rest early.
All right, you rest early. Good night, honey. I love you.
I love you too, husband.
After hanging up, my stomach churned, and I rushed to the bathroom, emptying its contents into the toilet. Tears silently streamed down my cheeks, and I wiped them away. It was late, and I couldn't sleep, tossing and turning with my unborn baby as my only company. Gently stroking my belly, a tender smile appeared on my face as the baby gradually calmed down inside. I closed my eyes, about to drift off when I suddenly remembered an old 7-inch tablet at home. I found it in a corner of the study, unlocked it with my fingerprint, and fortunately, the iCloud account was still logged in. With a light tap on the photo sync, new pictures started appearing in the album. In the past 7 months, we had only been intimate twice. No wonder John had been saying he couldn't leave the project and needed to earn more money, so he wasn't coming home.
I had sympathized with his hard work and was even pleased, thinking John was taking on the responsibility of being a father.
I glanced at the girl's WeChat. She must have been quite open, as her moments were not restricted, and I could see them without adding her as a friend.
Scrolling down a page, most of her posts were about food and gifts she received. I clicked on one post that read, "I've never met someone who even remembers my cycle."
In the past 7 months, we had only been intimate twice. No wonder John had been saying he couldn't leave the project and needed to earn more money, so he wasn't coming home.
I had sympathized with his hard work and was even pleased, thinking John was taking on the responsibility of being a father.
I glanced at the girl's WeChat. She must have been quite open, as her moments were not restricted, and I could see them without adding her as a friend.
Scrolling down a page, most of her posts were about food and gifts she received. I clicked on one post that read, "I've never met someone who even remembers my cycle. Can I video call you? I miss you and want to see you."
This time, my message went unanswered. I clutched my phone, laughing and crying simultaneously. Before Eric Johnson came in, I wiped away my tears and washed my face.
Lily, you should eat something and rest. Don't exhaust yourself and the baby.
He said, frowning with concern. I grabbed the pizza he bought and stuffed it into my mouth. After eating my fill, I lay down on the bed to rest. The next day, I woke up before dawn. Checking my phone, it was 5:30. I sent a message to Eric.
Any updates?
The front desk said room 5313 requested room service in the middle of the night, nothing else.
I understood. After a night of rest, I felt much calmer. At 8 a.m., John Thompson and the girl left the hotel together, speeding away in a Mercedes. According to Eric's timing, they spent 8 hours in the room. After a week of following them, I realized John's daily life was far more colorful than I had imagined. He had hooked up with the boss's daughter, which meant he didn't have to stay at the construction site all day. He just needed to keep her happy, and his salary would still be paid. No one dared to criticize him. I came quietly and left quietly. Eric was the one who took me to the train station.
Take care of yourself, Lily. I'll help gather evidence bit by bit.
Thank you, Eric. Once I get this divorce, I'll properly thank you.
After returning, Sarah Miller accompanied me to find a renowned divorce lawyer. He gave me some advice. If I wanted John to leave with nothing, I should stay put. I nodded and followed his advice, pretending nothing was wrong and focusing on my pregnancy. I wasn't looking for trouble, but trouble found me. I was engrossed in painting at home when a piercing ringtone interrupted me. It was an unfamiliar number from Shaanxi.
Hello?
Hello, is this Ms. Lily Smith? I'm Jessica Taylor, John Thompson's girlfriend.
I froze, my breath catching. A mocking smile tugged at my lips. I took out a recorder from the drawer and pressed the switch.
Yes, I know you. What do you want?
I'm calling to tell you that you're not suitable for John. You should divorce him as soon as possible. You can't give him what he wants.
Oh, your words mean nothing. Let him tell me himself. Jessica, I know your family is powerful, but money isn't everything. He doesn't know you called me, does he?
So what? Even if he finds out, he won't be mad at me. But he often complains that you're holding him back from getting promoted. He says he's with you out of obligation, for the sake of his parents. John says I'm his true love. He swears he'll divorce you and marry me.
My body swayed, trying hard to listen to what Jessica was saying. But the pain in my abdomen was unbearable, and I felt the baby slipping. I looked down, amniotic fluid mixed with blood was running down my legs. In the past 7 months, we had only been intimate twice. No wonder John had been saying he couldn't leave the project and needed to earn more money, so he wasn't coming home.
Thinking, I had sympathized with his hard work and was even pleased, thinking John was taking on the responsibility of being a father.
I glanced at the girl's WeChat. She must have been quite open, as her moments were not restricted, and I could see them without adding her as a friend. Scrolling down a page, most of her posts were about food and gifts she received. I clicked on one post that read,
I've never met someone who even remembers my cycle.
Was it because he was sincere? Looking at it now, not so much.
I sighed and confronted John.
John, I know everything. I can't pretend nothing happened. So, let's get a divorce.
John's face turned red and then white, as if he'd been slapped. His eyes shifted from guilt to anger.
Lily, I've already admitted my mistake. What more do you want?
I want a divorce.
That's impossible.
Why?
John suddenly spoke, desperation in his voice.
We have a child, Lily. I know I wronged you this time. Can we not get a divorce? Jessica and I were just a fling. As soon as this project ends, I'll break up with her immediately.
I looked at him in disbelief, scrutinizing the man in front of me.
I'm someone who can't tolerate betrayal. John, let's get a divorce.
No! No! I won't divorce you.
Just then, Mom walked in holding the baby, and the sleeping baby was startled awake, crying loudly. Along with her came a petite, beautiful young woman.
John!
She ran over with a smile, linking her arm with his.
I suddenly laughed. Of all the calculations, I didn't expect Jessica to show up.
What was originally my hospital room turned into a battleground with Jessica's arrival.
I want a divorce.
Mother-in-law's reaction was the most interesting. She stopped looking at the baby and instead sized up Jessica.
Hello, Auntie. I'm Jessica.
Mother-in-law, being shrewd, had already noticed the premium gifts of cordyceps, bird's nest, and fish maw she brought. She smiled slightly and nodded. John was forced to admit his affair with Jessica in front of everyone. The room was filled with mixed emotions, except for Jessica, who gave me a smug smile. I glanced at her indifferently, not caring. Mom and Dad scolded him for my sake, but mother-in-law justified.
Our son works hard on the construction site, and all the money he earns is spent on Lily. He's a young man. Isn't it natural for him to have a girlfriend to meet his needs?
Really? John gives me 2,000 yuan every month, and it's been like this since we got married. The rest of the money he said he gave to you for safekeeping. I didn't mind, understanding it's not easy raising a child. But using our marital assets to support a mistress, I absolutely won't allow it. John, I've been paying our mortgage and car loan, right?
I looked at him with a mocking smile.
I'm not with John for his money. My family has plenty of money. I just want him.
Fine, I've used him, so I'll give him to you.
I sneered, watching John's face turn from green to black.
Lily, I didn't know you endured so much.
I patted her hand, comforting her.
Mom, soon I won't have to endure it anymore.
With that, I took the divorce papers out of the bedside drawer.
John, let's part on good terms. Don't make it ugly. Sign the divorce papers.
Mother-in-law immediately snatched them from me, quickly skimmed through, and handed them to him. John didn't take them, but Jessica did. After reading it, she sneered.
You just want John to leave with nothing, don't you? I really don't care about your stuff.
Her gaze drifted over his family.
You may not care, but someone else does.
John, maybe it's best to end this marriage. I think Jessica Taylor is a good match, generous and warm, unlike Lily Smith, who always acts so haughty around us.
John looked at Lily with a pained expression.
And the child?
Do you think the court will grant you custody? Or is there someone in your family willing to take care of her?
Mother certainly wouldn't take care of the child. They were too busy trying to win over Jessica. If John insisted on keeping the child, Jessica wouldn't agree. Besides, if he dared to fight for custody, Lily would file for divorce on grounds of infidelity.
Sign the papers.
John picked up the pen and signed the divorce agreement, willingly giving up all marital assets. His family left the hospital room in a grand procession, and Lily finally breathed a sigh of relief.
I never thought their family would.
He couldn't finish, filled with guilt for Lily.
Dad, now that I'm free from this painful marriage, you and Mom should be happy for me.
Don't worry, child. Your mom and I will help you raise the baby. We'll live together as a family.
Lily hugged Mom, tears streaming down her face. During her confinement period, Lily spent every day with her baby, accompanied by a nanny and her parents. She rarely thought about John. On the day she finished her confinement, John came to their house with some gifts. Dad almost threw him out, but Lily stopped him in time.
Dad, he's here to see the baby. Let him in.
In just a month, John's face had become haggard, and he looked thin and dark. Meanwhile, Lily had been preparing for the divorce and focusing on her recovery, so she looked radiant.
Lily, I'm sorry for everything.
Don't say that anymore. I won't stop you from seeing the baby, but I have no feelings for you anymore.
After saying this, Lily left the room, leaving the nanny to look after the baby. Later, Lily heard that after returning home, her former mother-in-law boasted about her son finding a wealthy heiress. Jessica had taken John home, but Lily didn't know the details. She only heard that Jessica had a falling out with her family and moved out to live with him. Lily also informed Eric Johnson about her divorce, and he was happy for her.
I have a big gift for you.
Eric, you've helped me so much already. How can I accept another gift?
Don't refuse. You'll definitely like this one. It's a gift for my little niece.
Eric sent Lily $10,000 as a gift for the baby. Accepting it felt like too much, but not accepting it would disregard his kindness. It wasn't until he called to urge her that she slowly accepted the money and sent him a video of the baby sticking out her tongue. Sarah Miller also brought many things and insisted on becoming the baby's godmother. When she came, she also brought some updates. John Thompson was reported for accepting gifts and got fired. He could only find work at small companies, working tirelessly every day, and Jessica Taylor didn't understand him. They often argued. Someone informed Jessica's father about John abandoning his wife, who had just given birth for Jessica. Her father, a powerful figure, used his connections to get John fired again. After that, almost no one in the industry dared to hire him. Forced by circumstances, he had to change careers and even delivered food at one point. But that's a story for another time. When our child turned 1, John came with his family. After a year, he looked like he had aged 10 years. Though he was in his 20s, he had wrinkles on his forehead and white hair.
Lily, thank you for taking such good care of the baby.
I'm Sophia's mom, it's my duty.
Seeing her hesitant expression, I quickly added,
We have many guests today, please excuse us if we don't attend to you well.
Saying this, I walked towards Eric Johnson. He was holding a box of Barbie dolls he had bought abroad as a gift for Sophia. He also saw John and his family, showing disdain in his eyes.
He broke up with Jessica.
Let him be. I have nothing to do with him anymore.
Aren't you curious about the reason?
Go ahead.
I copied the part of the recording you gave to the lawyer about Jessica and sent it to her before their engagement.
I covered my mouth, pointing at him, thinking, is this the gift Eric mentioned?
You're not feeling sorry for him, are you?
No, he brought this upon himself.
At the party, John kept looking at me, trying to find a chance to talk alone, but was constantly interrupted. By the end of Sophia's birthday party, his family hadn't spoken much to me. Afterwards, I changed my phone number and deleted their contacts from WeChat. Regarding Sophia, I told my parents to inform John that he could visit any time. During the divorce, it was very awkward. Whenever he came to our house, my parents' expressions were unpleasant. And I was rarely home when he visited. After several visits, John understood. My parents helped take care of Sophia, and I used my savings to open an art studio. Gradually, I lost contact with John's family. Occasionally, I heard they couldn't make a living in the city and moved south for work. I just smiled, feeling no emotional stir.